Well, in the seventh round of the World Youth Championships under 18 girls occurred a beautiful game. It was played by the top seed Polina Shuvalova. She's rated 2412 and is the defending champion, and I think is the favorite to win the title even this year. But this game, what she played, is so unique and so beautiful. Of course, we're going to enjoy the second half with all the sacrifices, but the middle game is so complex that I want to analyze it in a different way with you guys. So let's get to it. First I'm going to show you the game, and then I'm going to tell you how we can look at it in a deeper way using engines and cloud engines. So it's going to be not just game analysis but also a tutorial on how to use cloud engines on ChessBase. Okay, so game began with e4 and it was a Najdorf, as is usually the case these days. Bishop e7, castles, king h1, bishop e6, f4, and this is pretty well known, queen c7, f5, and now black players like to play bishop c4 over here, but Afona Sieva, who was black, she played bishop to d7. g4, it's just going on. You want to play g5, then push ahead with f6, attack the king. So bishop c6, now e4 is hanging. So Shuvalova defended with bishop f3, h6, stopping the pawn from coming to g5, and now h4. So I am not sure if this was Polina's preparation because she took 4 minutes for this move. She was taking her time, but after knight h7 it seems like black is doing completely fine. It's attacking the h4 pawn over here, and then if you try to defend it with say queen e1, I could go back and attack it further, and if you play h5 then my knight would jump to g5 and this would be a great position. But white's idea was different. She wanted to continue the attack with g5, 8 minutes for this move, h into g5, and now in 15 seconds Polina played rook to g1 looking at the black king, g into h4, and now bishop h6 was played. Now when I tried to analyze this with my local computer Komodo 13, it suggested that bishop h5 is a possibility because then you want to bring your queen here followed by bishop h6 when it would be very difficult to defend g7. So king h8, queen g4, bishop f6, this is how it's a good way to continue, but I don't know if this is winning. For example, bishop e3, knight d7, I don't even know what is the assessment of this position. Black is 2 pawns up, but is there a way to break through? So we're going to look at this position later on, like rook g2, get the other rook in. Is this strong enough? Now bishop h6 was played, bishop f6, queen d2, king h8, and now bishop came back to e3. b5, rook to g4, b4, and queen d5. So black is still 2 pawns up after knight c6, but white has all his pieces in the game. As you can see over here, he is attacking with all his might. Knight e7, queen d2, and d5. So black got a little bit nervous, and rightly so, because the queen would be coming next to h2, then there could be threats of bishop f2 to h4. So she tried to open up the position, but queen h2, and now queen d7. This was not the best move. There are other moves like rook f d8, rook f c8, which seem to be better, but queen d7 was played, and now knight c5, queen c8, and bishop f2. This is where Polina starts to play amazingly well. After d into e4, she takes on h4, and her point is, if you take on f3, then I take bishop f6, and after g f6 it's a pretty mate into, yes, you found that right, takes, and checkmate. So knight g8 was played to either take with the knight or even block sometimes on h6. bishop e4 and queen into c5. Black is a piece up, but now bishop to f2. Here there are possibilities like queen c4, but then you are keeping an eye on e4, but I can just take and attack your queen, and already I'm materially doing really well. So this position is already very difficult. Black played queen to e7, and now came rook takes g7, which was really a fantastic move. And now I would like you to calculate right until the mate after bishop g7. How should white continue? Well done if you found the move. Queen into h7, king h7, f6 check, king h6, check, check, check. It's like the bishops are just escorting the king towards checkmate, and after bishop g4 the game was all over. The beautiful mate, you can see how three pieces completely corner the king and all of black pieces could do nothing but just watch. So was Polina's attack sound? Did she play it correctly? Let's have a look using ChessBase's tools. Okay, so now you can see my entire screen, and here I can go to home, I can go to add kibitzer, and I can take the Komodo 13.02, which is my local engine. So I'm using my laptop's power right now to run this engine. So the position which we were interested in was over here after h4 knight h7, and as you can see the computer shows it as clearly better for black, minus plus 0.88. It says g5 hg, rook g1, gh4, and this is better for black. But if you give it some time, as you can see the depth is increasing, we will be able to understand further. Also you can see the speed over here, 2839 kilo knots, which is actually pretty slow. In my opinion it should be higher than this, somewhere around 8 to 10 kilo knots. So I do not trust this engine, I do not trust its evaluation, because there could be something really good happening a few moves later which it is not able to see right now. And also my laptop is not very powerful, so basically I cannot bank on it to analyze such complicated lines. And so what do we do in this situation? Do we have to invest in getting a very good laptop? Do we have to invest in having great specifications, RAM, processor and all of that, or your graphics card? Well, the easy solution is to use ChessBase's cloud features. So how does that work? Now let me close this engine and I go to analysis and I say open cloud engines. Once I click that, you will realize that over here there are a lot of cloud engines which are provided by different people for you to use. So you will see that ChessBase has its own engine here called Fat Fritz. Then there is Leela Chess Zero, these are AI engines. There is also Stockfish, and then ASM Fish is also over here. So these are the engines, and you will see the name of the provider here, the experience, the machine details, what are the details of the machine, the country where this machine is hosted, the current rate. So it's not free of cost, you have to pay ducats, which is the engine, which is the currency in which you can use this. You can buy it from ChessBase India shop. And this is the speed, MNS, which is basically the speed which you will get if you use it. The higher it is, the much better. Now you can look at all these details and come to a conclusion. Right now I want to use the best one. So if you look here, I would have liked to use Leela Chess, but it's in use, so I would use this good engine, which is 0.5 ducats per minute. 1 ducat is around 8 rupees, so I'm using around 4 rupees per minute to use this. So let me get this. It's an Intel Core i9 PC, and it has a good speed and everything looks really fantastic. So I double click on it and it says this is the rate. and I have around 14 ducats remaining with me, so I say okay. Kibitzer, here you have the engine, and now when you load it, I want to look at the same position, and you will see that this Leela chess is not as pessimistic about this position as my Komodo was. So g5, hg, rook g1, gh, and it's giving it as almost equal, and it suggests white to continue with bishop to h5. So king h8, queen g4, bishop f6, and here I was trying to analyze bishop e3. The computer says it would be nice to get your knight immediately into the game with knight d2, and let's say black goes knight d7, which is the most natural move, then knight to f3. And there is a feature on in ChessBase, if you press the key X, you get to know what the threat is in the position. So here if I press X, I will get to know that knight to g5 is one of my major threats. Also bishop g5 is a big threat. So knight f3, and already this looks really dangerous, like knight c5. It's suggesting me to play bishop e3, then go rook g2, and I think when you're 2 pawns down and still the computer gives you an advantage, it means that this is really bad for white, for black. So bishop h6. Now this is not really liked by Leela chess. King h8, bishop e3, b5, rook g4. So black is doing well, but you will see that knight c6, queen, rook g1, knight e7, queen d2. Here black should have played rook a c8, attacking this pawn here, and she would have been okay. So basically Polina's attack was not 100% sound. Like after rook g2, the engine says g6. Now this is always a difficult move for humans to make, but here it should have been done. And after fg, already you can see there is more circulation around the king, and black pieces can easily come to the defense, so it looks pretty good. d5, queen h2, rook queen d7 was a bad move. Now you can see instantly how the engine evaluation is changing. Bishop f2, de, bishop takes h4, and here knight g8 was played. Knight e4 was a good move, but bishop e4, and now after queen into c5, bishop f2. I want to see how quickly this engine spots rook into g7 idea after queen e7. Well, it's taking 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it spotted it, rook into g7. So in around 4 seconds, it did spot rook g7, bishop g7, and queen h7 with a completely winning attack. So guys, this was how you analyze with the cloud engines. I'm going to stop my cloud engine right now for the fear that I might lose on all the ducats. As you can see, I've spent 3 ducats here. 3 ducats is something around 25 rupees. You can go to ChessBase India shop and buy 200 ducats for around 1650. So, and then start using these powerful engines without having to improve your hardware, because these are being rented out and you can use them. Congratulations to Polina for playing such a brilliant game, which required me to use powerful engines to understand what was going on. And all those people who are playing chess for fun, this is a feature which you do not need to use. I just wanted you to be aware of it. But for the serious players, this could become extremely useful. So please do go ahead and use it. And by the way, Polina did win the ChessBase Game of the Day award, Caruana's Volume 1 of Rai Lopez.